And welcome back to HLN News Now. Again, an extraordinary moment at a town hall meeting. Stay with me on this. This is Belmont, Massachusetts. People call the meeting to inform people about a sex offender. It's going to be living in the town, so everyone's on edge, right? In the middle of the discussion, middle-aged man stands up and says, "My name is Carl Peterson. I'm the level 3 sex offender that all of you have been talking about." And you better believe at that moment you could have heard a pin drop in that room. Well, here's what he did. 1999, he sexually assaults his niece, who's under 13 years old at the time. He spent 4 years in prison, says he spent 8 years in therapy, vows to never do it again. But again, imagine being a parent in that room, the reaction jaw-dropping, most silent. Some yelled at him a little bit, and we'll get into specifics in a moment. And I'm thinking to myself, what would I do? What would you do? And what is going on here that he would, and you know, even one man came up to him and said, "I applaud you," and shook his hand because you presented yourself. You let everybody know who you are, and so we have that reaction as well. Let's bring in my guest. We have with us clinical and forensic psychologist Judy Ho and a special guest, Jennifer Kitt, radio host, life coach, mom of 4. Our kids go to the same school, it did, by the way.
Absolutely.
Well, let me start with you. Let's go to our kids' school, and this happens. What would be your first thought?
Absolutely unbelievable. Terror, frustration, and still very glad that at least he did come forward. You know, I just cannot even imagine what his family has to go through and what the community has to go to. He did address the elephant in the community, so for that I do applaud. But I think I would rather know that he does exist and that he is in there, because you know, in the schools that we go to, our kids are all intermingled. But would my children have access to, I'm sorry, his daughter, his family?
Right.
No, I'd want to stay away. So it's one of those tensions that I don't know what I would do at that moment, but I do feel that I'd be happy and sad at the same time.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I know, and that's what we have here.
Absolutely.
So here's some of the reactions. One woman cried out, "I don't want to hear this." Ooh. Another one just yelled out, "Just go." As he's telling his story, someone else screams out, "Nobody cares." So that's you know, some people, "I don't want to hear this, get out of here." And you know that their heart is get out of the community.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. But I know we can't do that. I know he served his time. So on that, I do agree that he should have addressed the elephant in the room. However, I'm human, and I don't know that what his motivation or what his expectation was. If it was that everyone is now going to be a kumbaya, everyone's going to be great, and he's going to be welcomed into the community, I just don't think that's going to happen, because I know in my own world that wouldn't be my story.
Right.
And I have to be honest. I have to be really honest.
And it sounds like these people were honest in their emotions as well. Judy Ho again with us. Judy, I think everyone wants to know, level 3, that's most likely to offend. How likely does that mean? I mean, how dangerous is he? I think people want to know that.
Well, Mike, I think, again, very, very understandable, the emotional reactions of these parents when they first heard him come forward. But interestingly, at least statistically, people who reoffend, or just sexual offenders in general, they actually have the lowest reoffense rates of all the crimes. Now, people might argue that, you know, sometimes they go undetected if they reoffend again, and that might be true, but still, the statistics through a bunch of research really shows that they are the least likely to reoffend of any type of crime. And so a level 3 sex offender, you know, the statistics vary, but it's somewhere between 5% to 15% long-term. So that's still a smaller proportion of all the people who have committed this crime.
Here's some more of his quotes as he began to speak. He said, "I don't want to scare people. You are afraid of me, and I hate that." One other quote from him, he said, "My crime was not against preschool children or somebody I didn't know or lots of children. It was against my niece." That one concerns me. It's like, don't try and justify this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That makes it, to me, even 10 times worse, because you're talking about an incestuous relationship. That's not better in the grand scheme of things. And sexual offenses, I don't know. This is a very personal feeling that I have. It's something that you have to really try to deal with on an ongoing basis.
And he's married, 14-year-old daughter. A lot going on here. We'll continue to follow it. Much more coming up. Keep it right.